Hi, Sulis. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sing Awesome Naya. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. I compile all those videos together so you all will see what it's going on. So I am going to ask. Somebody's saying that Kamala Harris never had any plan for everybody, and also that it was the Agent Orange that had plans for like everybody. And I am asking, where is the plan? What plan are you actually enjoying at this point in time? Because it looks like some people do not understand what it's going on. But then I cannot figure it all out for them because everything that is happening is glaring even to the blind. So why do I have to explain things to a unblind person? I don't know if this is correct, but just take that grammar like that. Now, I am going to say this. Why is it that deconstructing is very hard for you people? Why is it that? And for the man saying that, oh, yeah, that the poor white man wearing MAGA hat is not the cause of the problem. Now, let me tell you something. At this point in time, everybody is actually the problem, especially the ones that voted for this administration. If you are a poor man, what concerns a poor man with a rich man, right? Why would a poor man vote for someone that will make him poorer? Why didn't the poor man look for a way to vote for someone that will make his life better? So you are also part of the problem. If you are a poor man and you are wearing MAGA hat and you are part of people that voted this administration, you are the problem. Because you are supposed to look for a way to make things easier for yourself, not enriching the rich. You know what? Let's get into this video.
Come to perceive whiteness, the construct, as a cancer to humanity, to this planet, in the way that it has behaved since it has existed. Because when you consider what a cancerous cell is, it is a cell that decides to prioritize its own survival over the survival of the body. It will literally pull in every resource. It will eat everything. It is greedy, and it does everything it can to expand itself and take more and more of the body until the body no longer can survive. Those of them who are doing the work to evolve and to grow and to heal whatever it is that is so destructive coming out of them, it just makes them benign. There's this whole conversation constantly, like, if you bring up the harm that whiteness has done to the entire planet, everybody hates white people are not all bad, and it's not all white people. If you bring up the harm that men have done to the planet and its inhabitants, it's not all men. Instead of first acknowledging what they are as a group. I'm not saying what you are as an individual. I'm saying acknowledge what you have been as a collective. Acknowledge the cancerous behavior and attributes that have come from your folk, and then make the distinction. Ensure that you are doing the work so that you can cause no further harm to the body. I'm doing the work to heal. I'm doing the work to deconstruct from these harmful systems that I benefit from white supremacy, from the patriarchy, from religion, from capitalism. I'm doing my own work so that I will no longer be a malignant cell to the body. If you spend all your energy fighting whether you are a cancer cell or not, then you will never do the work to ensure that you are causing no further harm to the body. Because the truth is, most of us in one way or another are behaving like some sort of cancer to the entire body. And when I say the body in this context, I mean the planet. I mean Earth. And I mean our continued ability to exist here. But if we won't acknowledge the ways in which we behave like malignant tumors to this planet, then we will never do the work to heal. And that is what deconstruction is. It is the work to evolve.
It's like they're spreading like mosquitoes.
I was watching this video on Instagram a few seconds ago, and I happened to start going through the comments because I was curious to see what are people saying about this video. And I came across a comment that made me realize why the liberals and the Dems are completely cooked. Somebody really said, we could have had a pop culture icon in the White House. Somebody who made us laugh every day. So y'all only gave a fuck about having someone who liked pop music and cackled like a hyena, not someone who spoke policy, not someone who had a plan for what they wanted to do as president. No, y'all wanted somebody who looked at the last 4 years and said, I wouldn't do anything different. Y'all are inspired by the woman who got on the podium and talked about elephants after an earthquake, a disaster, and laughed about it. It's obvious. Y'all just wanted somebody to play in your face. You guys are like little babies. You just want somebody to be like, goo goo gaga. Oh, you so cute, just laugh. That's what y'all wanted. Y'all didn't want a strong leader on that podium. Child, y'all are cooked.
I had to use a reverse Uno card for this video in order for us to lead people back to this comment to arrive how we got here. That particular comment there used you as a point of reference to make his point that he, like you, are lost in the wilderness, bumping around in your own ignorance, and using that as a reason to blame liberals, Democrats, and Kamala Harris for why she didn't win the election. Now, do you know what Kamala Harris did in the state of California with her social programs and what she did to benefit the working class and, more importantly, social programs that benefited black people? Do you know what Kamala Harris did as a senator, her voting record and policies she stood for? Because you should, if you're speaking on politics. But I'm not going to insult the 92% who may be watching this video who are informed, who are aware, who also know what's going on. I'm not going to insult their intelligence by pulling the receipts on Kamala Harris because you should already know this. Now, you up here talking about they don't want somebody in power, they don't want somebody strong on the podium, while she demonstrated that all of her body of work demonstrates she's the pillar of strength. And you watch nothing else but the debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. That one debate would have told you what she stood for. She articulated her plan. And oh, by the way, during that same debate, Donald Trump said this.
So just a yes or no, you still do not have a plan?
I have concepts of a plan.
That's right. He didn't have a plan. But she articulated hers. She told you where she stood on foreign policy. She told you where she stood on border security. Anybody out there saying she wanted open borders, anyone saying that she didn't know what she was doing with foreign affairs, anyone saying she didn't have no answers for the economy, demonstrates you are in an echo chamber, not of truth or accuracy, but in your own willful ignorance. You are in conflict with yourself. You literally have videos on there talking about if you voted for Trump, you shouldn't be celebrating Cinco de Mayo. You're talking about did your education fail you? You're also then celebrating your person in your life, which shows not only do you have Puerto Rican descent, not only are you married to a person in the military, not only are you talking about your concerns with your education, and you are a woman, all the reasons of why you should have voted for Kamala Harris. Does your bodily autonomy matter to you? Does the treatment of Puerto Rico matter to you? Your husband's life in the military and positions they put him in because of our country's policies. That should concern you as well. Yet your anti-blackness comes through. If not Kamala Harris as a pillar of strength in the Oval Office, then who are you talking about? I know you're not talking about these assorted nuts. Definitely not these two toilet cloggers. But you'd rather blame Kamala Harris for a country that's filled with racist, misogynist, ignorant, apathetic people and people who are not white, who are filled with anti-blackness, such as yourself, which is why you would characterize her as not being strong, which is why you would mock and trivialize the fact that she actually has rhythm and style and swag and use that as somehow that's a deterrent. It's like somehow the way she laughs gets away from her intellect. All that follows a white supremacy ideology of trying to mischaracterize the strength of black women and trivialize them into some type of caricature. That's why people try to mischaracterize Jasmine Crockett. Just because she can cuss your ass out, people think she can't get in those congressional halls and roll her sleeves up and get down to legislation that's going to benefit the Americans. Right now, people are complaining about their rent. Kamala Harris wanted to put a cap on rent during these economic crises. People complaining about the price of groceries. Donald Trump's policies are impacting groceries to cost us more. If you're asking about your education, Donald Trump's withholding funding and dictating the terms of the curriculum that's being taught to our youth. Your condescending tone wanting to call liberals and Democrats babies when you, little tink, don't even have yourself leveled up to an understanding of what is actually happening in our government that directly affects you negatively. Because you don't even know the root cause, which is why you don't know what the solution is to the very problems here in this country. You are being mama birded white supremacist talking points, which is why it reeks of anti-blackness, willful ignorance, and self-loathing. When you're ready to have the real conversation of how America arrived to the place we are and how Kamala Harris lost the election, don't start with the liberals. Don't start with the Democrats. Start with the apathetic who didn't vote at all. Start with the ignorant who voted third party. Start with the racist who voted for Donald Trump. And start with that compact mirror that you're looking at.
People only know how to be friends with happy black people. They hate it when you stop tap dancing. They hate it when...
I have a theory for why this is. Since I started deconstructing, the way I see the world is way different. I'm far more conscious, aware, and present in everyday situations. So much so that it has made me more reclusive. Because so much of our engagements and interactions are performative, and I don't really have the stomach for it anymore. But one of the things I noticed in particular when it comes to whiteness is that the reason why they expect you to always be smiling and be nice is because they do not have the internal ability to intuit a person's true intentions the way we oftentimes do. If we're tapped in even a little bit, we can go into a room and we can sense the room. But I do not believe that they have that same grip on their intuition. So the expectation is always for us to perform our emotions so that they can have the feeling of safety. There is something about our collective energy that they cannot relate to. They can mimic it, but they can't relate to it. When we come together and do anything, it makes the energy bigger because we are one. We come from one source. So the energy expands. We know what that's like. Have you ever been to a black church? Have you ever been to a concert? You want to know why the GNX tour is filled to the brim with white people who don't know the music? Because when we come together, that collective energy is quite literally addicting. I grew up in a church in the middle of Harlem, 116th Street, where tourists from all over the world, literally a big bus would bring them to the church and they would go up to the balcony and sit in the balcony just to watch the choir sing and all of that kind of stuff. The look of awe that used to be on their faces, just observing us, right? Not tapped in, not connecting, just observing. Because that's the best they could do. What I came to talk about is this expectation that we will perform emotion the way that they perform emotion. This is why a white person will smile in your face and wave and do all of the niceties and then put your life on the line, threaten you, lie on you, blame you for something you didn't do, after they just smiled and kikied and made conversation with you. Whereas with black people, and the issue with black women in particular is that we do not perform. We are kind, we are not nice, because nice is performative. Kind is sincere. This is why they take issue with us at work. That's why the angry black woman trope exists, because we won't tap dance for them. I want you to consider that men do the same thing, telling women to smile who they don't know. Oh, just smile, it's a nice day. Why do you think they care so much? They don't have that same intuitive nudge that we have. So they rely on outward emotion to be able to read us. I say it's a gift and a curse. I think we could learn to use it better, but I also don't think that we should conform to their way of doing things. Our authenticity is our superpower. Even if it has costed us, it is our superpower.
You ever notice how in this country, just trying to survive is treated like a damn crime? Being broke is criminalized, addiction locked up, mental illness punished, homelessness ticketed, parenthood while poor, they take your kids. Not because you're violent, not because you're dangerous, but because you need help, because you slipped, because you're drowning in a system that built the water and tied the weights to your ankles. Let me tell you something most folks won't say out loud. Poverty is violence, and it ain't some accident. It's structured. It's engineered. The whole damn system profits off poor people staying desperate. They act like the jails are full of bad people. Nah, they're full of poor people, sick people, people who got high to numb the pain or lashed out because no one ever showed them love. But you won't see no CEOs behind bars for gutting pensions or landlords fined for letting families freeze in the winter. You steal a loaf of bread to eat, you're a criminal. They steal millions with a pen, they get a bonus. I got locked up more for being broke and sick than I ever did for hurting anyone. You check yourself into a hospital because you're not okay. Next thing you know, you're in paper scrubs with handcuffs on the bed. You try to get sober and they call it liability. You say you're struggling and they say you're unstable. You fall, they stomp on you. And if you're a parent, God help you, because now you're unfit. Now you're dangerous. Now they take your kid before they ever hand you a lifeline. And don't tell me it's just a few bad policies. The whole system is rotten. You think the police are out here protecting us? Protecting anyone? Nah, they're just the cleanup crew for capitalism, caging symptoms while the cause walks free. Over 70% of people in jails across America haven't even been convicted of anything. They're just too poor to post bail. They're stuck, forgotten, tossed aside like trash. Mental health ain't a crime. Addiction ain't a crime. Being homeless, hungry, being hurt ain't crimes. But this country treats them like felonies and gets rich off locking us up, stripping us of our dignity, our kids, and our futures. That's why there's over 2 million people in cages right now in the so-called land of the free. That's why we got 25% of the world's prisoners, but only 4% of the population. This ain't freedom. That's slavery with extra steps. And don't come at me with that reform talk. We tried that. We voted. We marched. We begged. You cannot reform a boot stomping on your neck. You rip the damn boot off, you burn it, you build something better with each other, for each other. No more charity, no more begging, mutual aid, direct action, and community defense. That's the way forward. The state don't care if we die, so we gotta care for each other like our lives depend on it, cause they do. No more shame, no more silence, no more pretending this is normal. We survived their violence. Now we organize to end it.
Well, hello there. I, for some reason, keep seeing videos from the white side of TikTok, and let me tell you something, they hate us. They are saying things like, we try to move, and then y'all come and move with us, and we're trying to get away from you. That this is how they act, just stupid stuff. And I get violations for, someone said, have you seen the police? And I responded, has your mom seen a dentist? I got a violation and lost that. Every live I have, I get banned for a week, 2 weeks, whatever. I'm not going to keep making TikTok pages. They took my 350K account, right? I'm at 90,000 a year later. Can't even really grow. Find my people in the beginning. Then the stuff that I'm talking about, people are really not ready to hear. And I'm just tired. And I've had so many bad experiences on this app at this point. I love y'all. I really do. I'm just tired. Like even people come into my life that I've met on TikTok has just been shit. Like ends up in a shit type of relationship, you know? And they like friendship and stuff. But like I'm just so tired of being censored and filtered and all this stuff. People like, oh, there's, black. I mean, come on, go over here to this. That. I'm not finna keep doing this shit. My link to my YouTube is in my bio, like I talk about, and it's Auntie on the Porch podcast. I just really want to just grow that. It's almost 1,000, so if y'all want to follow the link, is in the bio. But I've got creative stuff that I'm trying to make, my books, everything. History is Black, and just doing like a sarcastic, satirical, but very real book. It's gonna have notations and sources and everything. But I can't keep fighting for this. It's just ridiculous. They don't want us on this app. They don't want black people on this app. It's a joke on The Office where it's like, Dwight is like, the key is you got to get black people to do it, to get white people to do it. Then you got to stop black people from doing it. That's how you build a business and all this kind of stuff. They don't want us here. And I don't fight to be where I'm not wanted. When they do, oh, the makeup doesn't match us. I'm not with that. I'm not finna force myself. I don't care. I'm tired. I go live. I ask y'all not to send gifts. I'm not on here for y'all's money. I do make my little stuff, but my creative stuff, but that stuff y'all asked for, and I like making it. I'm not gonna do it for free. It costs money to send it out, but I'm just tired. I'm just really tired. I do think I'm gonna do a new little series. If I get banned, I get banned, y'all. Like, I'll appeal it. If it doesn't come back, I don't get approved. It is what it is. But I'll miss y'all if that happens. But yeah, I'm on account warning for comments. They're banning my videos. Like, I don't know what's happening, no matter what I do. So I'm just tired of everything. Like fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all think I'm funny and everything like that, but people are given like opportunities too that don't line up. It doesn't make sense. They pick the most cookie cutter. I don't know, but I'll miss y'all. Whatever. I'm gonna make another video about this.
This is all I got from this video, and I don't think this is new to anybody, especially if you are a black person. It can only be new to them because they don't know themselves, they don't understand themselves, because they don't even know the people they've been living with for how many years. They are very performative, and that is something that I have known, I've understood about them. Now let's get into them and we, black people, right? The reality is that they actually do not care. If I say that they do not like or hate, it will sound like it. They do not care about people that look like me. And I don't think it's something new. It's something that black people literally have done, and they are also working with that. When you have people around you, and there are some people you can avoid, there are some people you cannot avoid, especially when you have to be around them. Sometimes, majority of the time, the best thing you do is that just remove your mind from them and just keep doing you and the rest of it. They do not care. They always look for a way to, it has always been black people fighting them, not them fighting black people. The way they always look for a way to be victims at any point they get is just crazy. Now look at just a tiny video. Kamala Harris Day, right? She is screaming. Is this somebody who wanted to vote as? Because how do you want them to ever be? They are never happy with you. They are never happy with you. That's your source of happiness. They will always look for a way to quench it if they can. And now, the problem is that majority of all those people do not even know Kamala Harris' policy. And they also do not know their daddy's policy, right? Why did you vote for this person? Some will tell you it's because he said he was going to bring down the prices of things, or he said, I didn't know. No tangible thing. If you ask me now, why did you support for this? Why did you support this person? And why didn't you support this person? I absolutely will lay down the things I saw from her campaign, right? Her manifesto was very captivating. Not just being captivating, right? She was going to do that. The other person did not also come out with manifesto, but they secretly made Project 2025 that never surfaced, or it surfaced, but people were very scared to read it, or they just read but just did not want to act because they trust him so much, because he's a Christian, because to them he knows God, right? As long as you know God, that is the only thing that qualifies you to be a president. When the person you're saying is a Christian is also not a Christian. They are very confused, and the whole thing is confusing. It is not confusing, actually. It is them not knowing who they want to serve, or feeling that I know it's going to be bad, but it's not going to be my problem. It's never ever your problem. But it is your problem right now, right? Because if it is not your problem, you won't be coming out every time to scream about it. I never knew it was going to happen. It is happening. You never knew about, she the one that was going to, yes, she was the one that was going to listen to people, the masses, that was supposed to reduce price at gouging, and she's the one. But the other person did not promise you anything, or you don't have it. That is to tell you how ignorant majority of people are. Yeah, and this man is saying it's not the poor white man that is wearing MAGA hats. You are very silly for saying that. It is the poor white man that is wearing hats, that was supposed to look for a way to change his situation and condition. If you are poor, why would you vote for someone that will make you poorer? What are you saying? That it's not the man wearing hats, and that you are part of the problem, because if you had voted right, you wouldn't be that poor. They always want that happy black face. The only thing they wanted from black people is that no matter how you're suffering, they also want it to be smiling. They thought it's going to be this way, but unfortunately, it is not. Bye for now.